Hello and welcome to tonight's video. This is the daily recap. It is Tuesday, July 14th, and I'm just going to dive straight into SPX and breaking it down really quickly for you. Okay, so the very first thing that we see here is we had this strong pull down yesterday, and then today we had our rejection in price, right? And that's what we're going to see across all the names that I'm going to review today, because that's pretty much what they all did. They followed the market, right? So the SPY, right? So if I dive in on the 15-minute, I can show you actually a little better some of the things I was looking at, even though I wasn't trading today, and I had mentioned that in yesterday's video. But what we can see right away is that our monthly pivot zone here at 3,200, right, held as support yesterday twice, and then broke below it, right? And that's when we ultimately saw this huge move down, right, which really started all the way up here, right? So what you're looking for when you see such a huge move down is, are we going to continue that move down the next day, or are we going to push higher? Today we got this one, right? We pushed higher, right, to show that buyers are actually interested, they are still there, and that now we need to find out who's really in control. Is it the buyers or are the sellers, right? And so something to also take into consideration is that one of our lines that we have, our key levels, I should say, has actually once again held up here, 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 and here, and I would even say around here somewhere. But once again, it came pretty much into our level to a T almost and bounced and rejected right off of it, right? Which you can see right down here as well, right? And that's just what you want to take into consideration today. Okay, so as far as Apple is concerned, more of the same, right? So yesterday we touched all-time highs up at this 400 level, pushed all the way down, right? Now today opened up. I created this 375 level because it confirmed to me that it is a key level, right? And it bounced off there and then pushed higher, right? So again, the common trend for today is that although sellers really showed their fangs yesterday, buyers stepped in today and showed that they are as well showing their fangs, for lack of a better word or analogy, right? So as you see, price held this kind of range in pre-market. We had that push down, right, which would be a very nice scalp entry up as we held this range. So to me, when I see something like that, I'm always thinking, okay, in pre-market, are we holding the range? Are we gapping up, right? Are we gapping down further, right? What's happening, right? In today's case, we held this range here, and then we ultimately pushed down here, right? This is where buyers got interested. They came up, came into our level again, pushed higher, came into our level again, pushed higher, came into our weekly pivot zone, pushed higher. And that's what you want to be taking into consideration. Are we getting rejected by these levels, or are we pushing higher? So tomorrow, what I want to see is, are we pushing up through this 390 level, right? Are we going to get up to this 397 level and start another expansive day, as we've seen the past 2 days? We're having these large candles, right? Or are we going to start reverting back to the mean, which are these smaller candles in price, right? We're going to see tomorrow, but what you want to pay attention to is what's happening. Who has momentum now? Is it buyers, right? Or is it sellers, right? And we're going to see that tomorrow, like I was just saying. Okay, so as for NVIDIA, once again, more of the same. And I'm just gonna quickly go over all of these names the same way, really, because everything happened the exact same way, which you can kind of tell by the price action down here, or by the statistics, right? So once again, yesterday's big move down, which pretty much everything had that big move down, and then today we have this big move up, right? So what's gonna happen tomorrow? Are we gonna have a continuation of this move, which it looks like it's doing in after hours trading, but you know, a minute from now we could be down here, right? Or we could be up here. You don't know what's going to happen, right? So are we going to continue this momentum, this buying momentum that started pretty much all the way down here at like 10 and 11 o'clock? Or are the sellers going to step back in and push price back down, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but you just have to be able to trade and react off of what you see, right? As for Microsoft, once again, we see right away what I see here is our monthly pivot zone, right? That acted as support once before, has now acted as support once again, and it has pretty much rejected price right away, right once it touched it, which I have explained before, which is that when price is above it, it acts as support like it did today, and when price is below, it acts as resistance, right? You can kind of see that by our, this is also the same thing that another indicator I made. This is the weekly indicator right here, the weekly pivot zone, this purple line, and price did that opposite thing, right? So when price was below it and it came into it, it acted as resistance and pushed price down, right? And so that's what we see right away, right? And so once again, after our expansive candle down, we now pushed higher, created a wick showing that buyers really did step in after sellers tried to continue this move down, right? Buyers stepped right in, pushed it right back up. Okay, as for Tesla, once again, huge move down. Momentum tried to continue this morning, but ultimately got rejected by this 1430 level, which I have just made as well. Confirmed itself as resistance once before, and now as support. It's showing me that it's a level of some form. And so price came right into it and pushed right higher, right? And we ultimately closed right above our weekly pivot zone, right? And so that's something I'm going to take into consideration for the next few trading days. Are we going to hold this pivot zone, or are we going to ultimately close below it and fade further? If we do, we're going to be looking and targeting somewhere in these areas here. If we don't and we close above this pivot zone here, we'll be looking for a move up into this probably 1600 levels. And if above there, then probably 1700 or 1650, right? Because we don't want to get a little too crazy. But once again, I don't need to say it, but more of the same. Yesterday's pull down, held the pull down, pushed down a little further, but ultimately got rejected around this 296 or 2960 level, sorry, and we pushed higher, right? And then we kind of just created this channel and we just stayed in this channel, right? Now, once again, what I'm looking for is out of this channel, are we going to, and we are seeing this consolidation at the top here, which means that I'm expecting price to move up here. Unless it gets rejected, then I'm expecting price to move down here. And if it breaks through this 30-20 level, then break down here, right? Below these lows here, and that's what my target would be. Otherwise, I want to see if the bullish momentum that we saw today will remain in it and push it higher, probably into this weekly pivot zone here. And that's what I'm really interested in seeing, right? Okay, as for Netflix, once again, push down, held the push down once again, which is where our buyers stepped in right at our 492 level that we had here, right? And we created this a while back, and it held as support and pushed price all the way up to the close at this 1525 level, which we also had here. Okay, and so the first thing that I'm really paying attention to is, for really everything, right, is who's going to be in control once we open up for tomorrow and the rest of the week. We had sellers come in here, push price all the way down, right? Buyers came in here, push price up here, right? Who has more momentum now? Who has more conviction now? Are we going to see a push up, or are we going to see a push down for the next few trading days, right? That's what I'm paying attention to. That's all for me. I hope you guys are trading well. I hope you guys are trading smart and staying green. Other than that, if I can explain anything better or anything like that, any feedback, please leave it down in the comment box, or you can even shoot me an email if you prefer. If you want to join our group, also shoot me an email or comments, really. And yeah, we'll get you in there. But other than that, I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for watching.